One of the most telling yet misunderstood signs that a woman likes you but doesn't want to show it is when she mirrors you, then suddenly pulls away. It's subtle, almost invisible if you're not paying attention, but once you understand it, you'll see it clearly. At first, she's in tune with you. The way she speaks starts to reflect your cadence. Her body language aligns with yours. She picks up on your humor, mirrors your expressions, even starts to echo certain words or phrases you use. This isn't by accident. It's a subconscious way the human brain builds connection, especially when there's emotional interest. When a woman starts to mirror you, it's often because she feels emotionally safe enough to lean in, even if just slightly. But then she pulls back. Suddenly the warmth cools. She becomes more formal, shorter with her replies, less engaged in conversation. The eye contact fades or becomes guarded. You're left wondering what just happened. Did you say something wrong? Did her feelings disappear overnight? The truth is more complex. When a woman realizes she's getting too close, closer than she expected or planned, her internal defense systems activate. She's not pulling away because she lost interest. She's pulling away because the interest caught her off guard. Emotionally, she's exposed herself without meaning to, and that's where fear kicks in. This fear isn't always about you, Dot. In many cases, it's about her relationship with vulnerability. Maybe she's been hurt before. Maybe her emotional independence is something she guards fiercely. Or maybe she's never felt safe truly liking someone before, and the idea of being seen emotionally makes her uncomfortable. So rather than lean in further, she puts her mask back on. She tries to regain control by stepping back. It's protection, not rejection. And that's where most men misread the signal. They assume her distance means disinterest, and they either retreat completely or start chasing too hard, trying to recapture what they felt moments before. But here's what you need to know. If you can hold your center in that moment, if you can resist reacting and instead remain emotionally consistent, she will notice deeply. Because the truth is, she doesn't want to pull away. She wants to feel safe enough not to. But she needs to see how you handle her hesitation. Can you remain steady even when she gets uncertain? Can you stay grounded when she's testing the waters of emotional intimacy? That's the real challenge and the real opportunity. So when you notice a woman who once mirrored your energy now retreating into herself, don't panic. Don't chase. Just observe. Stay steady. Keep showing up with quiet confidence and give her space to return on her own terms. Because the man who understands that emotional intimacy is rarely linear will always have the upper hand. He doesn't mistake fear for rejection. He doesn't get thrown off by the dance of connection and retreat. He simply holds space and lets her come back to the mirror when she's ready to be seen again. And when she does, it's not because you convinced her, but because your presence proved you were safe to come closer to. Sometimes the loudest confessions are spoken without words. And when a woman likes you, but doesn't want to show it, her eyes often reveal what her mouth refuses to say. You may have felt it. A lingering look when she thinks you're not paying attention. A quick glance away when your eyes meet. Or that spark in her gaze that lights up for a second before she quickly hides it behind indifference. These aren't accidents. They're emotional slips. Brief moments when her defenses fall and her true feelings surface. But the very next second, she's composed again, guarded, maybe even cold. You're left wondering, did I imagine that? The answer is usually no. You saw something real, something she didn't plan to share. Why does this happen? Why would a woman's eyes tell one story while her words tell another? Because vulnerability is terrifying, even when desire is strong, especially when it is. A woman who catches herself gazing too long or softening in your presence might immediately feel exposed. And for a woman who's not yet ready to be open, whether because of fear, pride, past wounds, or uncertainty, that exposure feels dangerous. So she covers it up with sarcasm, with distance, with logic. She tells herself it's nothing. She tells you nothing's there, but her eyes have already betrayed her. This is the internal battle many women face when they're drawn to someone. The desire to connect is present. The emotional pull is undeniable, but the risk of being seen, truly seen, is high. so she masks it. She might become extra rational around you. She might avoid eye contact. She might talk fast, act uninterested, or change the subject anytime the energy between you becomes too intimate. But if you're paying close attention, you'll notice the contrast between her words and her gaze. Because the eyes don't perform. They don't filter. They don't lie. They reflect. And in those unguarded seconds, when she forgets to protect herself, you get a glimpse into what she's really feeling. But this is where emotional maturity is required. If you confront her too soon or call her out on it in a way that feels invasive, she'll retreat. Not because she doesn't like you, but because she doesn't feel safe showing it yet. Your job isn't to expose her. It's to hold space, to remain present, to let her know, without pushing, that you've noticed her, that you see her, and that she doesn't need to hide around you. When you see her all, and that she doesn't need to hide around you. It's in how you respond to these quiet cues that she'll begin to trust you, not with her time, not with her body, but with her truth. And when a woman starts to feel emotionally safe, the very thing she once tried to hide becomes the thing she begins to express freely. So if you want to know whether she likes you, even when she won't say it, don't just listen to her words. Watch her eyes. They are the windows to the emotions she's still learning how to voice. And if you can learn to read silence with patience, you'll hear everything her heart is trying to whisper. Mixed signals. Every man has experienced them at some point. One moment she's warm, engaged, even flirtatious. The next, she's distant, indifferent, or even cold. It's confusing, frustrating, and easy to misinterpret. Most men either take it personally or assume she's playing games. But when a woman likes you and tries not to show it, what you're witnessing isn't manipulation. It's a test rooted in emotional self-protection. At her core, a woman who sends mixed signals is often caught between two powerful forces, attraction and fear. She feels drawn to you. She wants to open up, to engage, to be near you. But at the same time, she fears what that means. Will you take advantage of her vulnerability? Will you get bored once she reveals her true self? Will she lose control of her emotions if she lets them grow? So what does she do? She tests. Not always consciously, but instinctively. She steps forward to see if you'll meet her halfway. Then she pulls back to see if you'll chase, react, or crumble under pressure. She may challenge your confidence, not because she wants to break it, but because she needs to know it's real. Can you remain calm when she becomes emotionally unpredictable? Can you stay grounded even when she seems distant? These moments tell her more about your emotional maturity than any sweet words ever could. And here's the part many men overlook. These tests aren't about you failing. They're about her safety. A woman's heart doesn't open easily, especially if she's been hurt, disappointed, or misled in the past. Her inconsistent behavior isn't always a reflection of her character. It's often a reflection of her inner conflict. She wants connection, but she doesn't want to be the one who wants it more. She wants to trust, but she needs proof that she can. So how do you respond when she's giving mixed signals? You don't chase. You don't beg. You don't get reactive. You hold your frame. You let her come and go without losing your composure. You engage her warmly when she steps forward, and when she retreats, you don't punish her. You give her space without bitterness or withdrawal. I appreciate the precedent, and when she retreats, you don't punish her. You engage her warmly when she steps forward, and when she retreats, you don't punish her. You give her space without bitterness or withdrawal. You prepare her food, you pray for her, you pay her respect when she leaves the house and when she stays. You give her food, you pray for her, you pay her respect. You pay her minutes with her dog. That balance of being present but not needy, open but not overexposed, is what builds her trust. Because when a man can withstand the waves of her uncertainty with steady presence, it shows her something deeper than charm. It shows her strength, emotional strength. And that strength becomes incredibly attractive to a woman who's afraid of losing herself in someone else. So yes, when she sends mixed signals, it can be exhausting. But if you can read between the lines, you'll see that behind those contradictions is someone who's watching you closely. She's trying to decide whether you're a moment or a man, whether you're like everyone else or something entirely different. And if you are that man, grounded, composed, emotionally intelligent, she won't have to test you for long. Because a woman only sends mixed signals when she's unsure of your consistency. But when your energy stays steady, her signals become clear. One of the most fascinating things about female behavior is how often her actions speak louder than her words. And when a woman likes you, but is trying not to show it, she often starts creating opportunities to be around you, but then denies she ever meant anything by it. She'll just happen to be where you are. She'll strike up a conversation over something casual. She might even reach out with a text that seems innocent, but the timing, the tone, everything about it reveals more than she's willing to say out loud. This behavior isn't random. It's intentional on a subconscious level. When a woman feels drawn to you, but doesn't want to expose her feelings, she'll find ways to be close without seeming obvious. Why? Because proximity feels safe. It allows her to enjoy your energy, your attention, and even your presence without having to own the vulnerability of wanting more. She may suggest casual hangouts, start showing interest in your hobbies, or find small excuses to initiate light interactions. It might feel spontaneous to you, but from her end, it's often carefully calibrated. She wants to be around you, but she doesn't want to be the first one to admit that she wants it. That would make her feel too open, too available, too emotionally naked, so she covers her tracks. If you call her out on it, if you ask directly whether she's into you, she might laugh it off. She'll say, "What? No, I was just being friendly." And in that moment, she's not lying. She's protecting not just her pride, but her emotional safety. Because for many women, showing interest first feels like giving away too much power too soon. And this is where most men miss the depth of what's happening. They take her denials at face value and assume there's no interest. Or worse, they get frustrated, thinking she's just playing games. But this isn't about playing games. This is about pacing emotional exposure. She wants to see how you respond to subtle closeness. Can you meet her energy without needing immediate confirmation? Can you engage with her without forcing clarity too quickly? If you can, if you remain grounded, curious, and respectful of her emotional rhythm, she'll start to trust the connection. Because what she's really looking for isn't just chemistry, it's certainty. Certainty that she can be herself around you without judgment. Certainty that her emotional openness won't be met with rejection or imbalance. When you give her that, without pressure or expectation, those accidental moments will slowly turn into intentional invitations. And you give her that. Without pressure or expectation, those accidental moments will slowly turn into intention. And when she finally lets go of the need to pretend, it won't be because you pushed her. It will be because you made it safe for her to stop hiding. So the next time she finds a reason to be near you, don't question it. Don't demand an explanation. Just pay attention to the energy. Because when a woman creates closeness but denies intent, she's not being confusing. She's revealing interest in the only way she feels safe to do so. And the man who recognizes that subtle language of affection without rushing to label it earns access to a part of her no one else has truly seen. One of the more complex signs that a woman likes you but is trying hard not to show it lies in this paradox. She engages with you emotionally, then detaches logically. You'll have these beautiful, deep moments where she opens up, sharing her thoughts, her insecurities, even glimpses of her heart. And for a while, it feels like she's letting her guard down. You think to yourself, this is it. She trusts me. We're moving closer. But then, out of nowhere, she pulls away. She downplays what she said, reframes it as something casual, dismisses the entire moment with a shrug or a joke. She shifts from vulnerability to surface-level conversation like it never happened. And you're left confused, questioning if that intimacy was even real. Let me tell you, it was real. But it was also dangerous for her. When a woman starts engaging with you on an emotional level, she's taking a risk. She's letting you see parts of her that are usually reserved for people she deeply trusts or already loves. And even if she feels drawn to you, that vulnerability is uncomfortable. It threatens her emotional balance, especially if she hasn't yet decided whether you're safe enough to hold that part of her. So what does she do? She detaches. Not because she didn't mean what she shared, but because she did. The more real that moment felt, the more she panics afterward. Emotional intimacy for her isn't just a connection, it's a shift, a turning point. And if she's not ready to face what that means, she'll try to walk it back in the only way she knows how, through logic, distance, and dismissal. This is important for men to understand, because a woman who likes you deeply but isn't ready to be exposed emotionally will constantly toggle between closeness and retreat. It's a form of emotional self-preservation. She's trying to connect while also protecting the softest parts of herself. And here's where emotional intelligence comes in. Instead of reacting with confusion or frustration, learn to observe her pattern. Don't call her out or make her feel embarrassed for opening up. That will only confirm her fear. That closeness leads to pressure or exposure. Instead, remain calm. Reassure her, not with words, but with presence. Let her know, silently, that she doesn't need to hide around you, that you can handle her truth, even when she's not sure she can. The more you respond with emotional maturity, the more she'll feel safe letting those moments last a little longer next time. And eventually, she'll stop retreating. Because what she's looking for isn't just someone who listens. It's someone who doesn't flinch when she shows her depth. So remember this, when she opens up, then acts like it meant nothing, don't believe her words, believe her eyes, her energy, her pauses. Because that retreat isn't rejection, it's hesitation. And the man who knows how to hold space for a woman in that hesitation, without rushing her or needing constant clarity, is the one who earns her full expression. In her emotional detachment, there is a silent invitation. Show me I'm safe to feel. At the heart of it all, when a woman likes you but tries not to show it, the root often lies in one thing: fear. Not fear of you, but fear of her own feelings. You see, desire, real desire, disrupts control. And for many women, especially those who are emotionally intelligent or have been deeply hurt before, surrendering to that desire feels like stepping into unfamiliar, unstable territory. She isn't afraid of you as a person. She's afraid of what you awaken in her. This fear shows up in the smallest ways. She overthinks your texts. She overanalyzes her responses. She keeps herself busy when she actually wants to reach out. Why? Because she's trying to suppress something she's not yet ready to fully feel. She's trying to manage the intensity of emotions that caught her off guard. That smile you gave her, the way you looked at her when she wasn't speaking, those things hit places inside her that she's not used to letting anyone near. Though instead of moving closer, she protects herself by pretending she doesn't care. And you might notice the tension in her actions. She holds back compliments, even when they're at the tip of her tongue. She listens closely, but responds vaguely. Her body leans in, but her words push away. That contradiction isn't her trying to confuse you. It's her trying to navigate the storm of feelings without being swept away. For many women, letting someone in means giving up a level of emotional control. And that's a risk not just of getting hurt, but of losing herself. She may be the kind of woman who's fought hard to become emotionally independent. She's built walls to stay grounded. She's taught herself not to rely on anyone. And now, you come along, and suddenly, those carefully constructed walls start to crack. She begins to imagine things, what it would be like to trust you, to laugh with you, to lean on you, and that alone makes her feel vulnerable. too vulnerable. So instead of leaning into those feelings, she covers them with detachment, with distance, with doubt. And yet, even in those moments of emotional retreat, she's hoping deep down that you'll see the truth, that you won't be scared off by her fear, that you'll recognize her silence as a doorway, not a rejection. This is where your role becomes critical. Not to convince her, not to chase her, but to be consistent, to show her, not through words, but through your steady energy, that she's safe to feel what she feels, that you're not here to control her or rush her, but to witness her, exactly where she is. Because when a woman finally feels emotionally safe, when her fear is met with patience and presence rather than pressure and pride, she opens, slowly, yes, but authentically. And that's when the connection deepens in a way that isn't just romantic, it's transformational.